The big game that everyone's talking about, Texas at Ohio State. Ohio State is currently a 1.5 point favorite, and this is going to be electric. You get to see Arch Manning against Julian Sayin. You get to watch Jeremiah Smith against Malik Muhammad. You look at so many different matchups that you could go into. The big one, though, is going to be the quarterback battle. Everybody has been talking about Arch Manning throughout the entire year last year, and the offseason hype has only grown. And this is a big year for both Texas and for Arch Manning. This is a guy that has all the credentials before really playing a game to fit into this Texas offense. And we're kind of seeing bits and pieces, right? We're seeing, can this guy actually give Texas what they need? And this is a Texas team that expects to be competing for a national championship in 2025. Again, with Quinn Ewers last year, you knew that he wasn't going to be the starter. You knew that Arch Manning was going to fill in and be used in situational positions. I think we saw some good flashes from him. I think we saw some excitement from him, and it's easy to see why the hype has only grown as the offseason has progressed. Now, there's a lot of pressure on Arch Manning, and the way that he carries himself, which isn't really surprising, is the one thing that I keep turning to. This is a guy that is definitely aware of the expectations of him. He knows that people have high expectations. He understands the pressure that comes with playing the quarterback position at Texas. That is not lost on him. There's just some questions about, can he do it for a full season? I think he's capable of doing it, and he gets a great chance to do it right off the bat against a really good team and the defending national champs in Ohio State. Now, Arch Manning is going against a defense that has plenty of talent. Playing that chess match with a guy like Caleb Downs is going to be fun to watch. How does Steve Sarkisian put Arch Manning in good positions to get that secondary out of place? This is an Ohio State secondary that lost a couple of big pieces, but they do return Downs, they do return Davis and Igbinison, and you have plenty of other talent around them that's going to be able to step up, that saw time last year, and is going to give this group a challenge. Now, Arch Manning's receivers will have to step up as well. You lose Matthew Golden, that means somebody has to replace him. Who's that going to be? Is that going to be DeAndre Moore? Is that going to be Ryan Wingo? Or is it one of the young players that we haven't seen quite yet? There are plenty of talented players that can make Arch Manning's life easier. But another thing to keep an eye on is the rushing attack. You have Contrending Wisner coming back. You also get CJ Baxter fully healthy. I'm hoping that he can stay healthy for an entire year, because the hype that we had for him, and even just in the college football fantasy world, where they're excited about what he can do as a running back, that hype was incredible. And then he goes down with an injury. You don't see him. Now he's back fully healthy. We'll see if that excitement continues or if it's died a little bit. Either way, I think that this is a group that has good depth. It's going to help Arch Manning. It's going to put him in successful positions, and it's going to give this Texas team a great chance to win a game as an underdog on the road. And the defense is going to do its part as well. This defense is absolutely stacked. Up front, you have Colin Simmons coming back. Opposite of him, Ethan Burke. You bring in multiple transfers at the defensive tackle position. That's a group that has plenty of talent. We've seen that defensive tackle position have a tremendous impact on games, and that should be the case once again. This defense, like I said, stacked. Colin Simmons is one of the most ferocious defensive ends in college football, and he's just one of the stars that's on this defense. Anthony Hill Jr. is going to be a star at linebacker. We talked about Muhammad earlier. Michael Taft, great guy to have in that secondary as well, potential All-American, and a great story. This is a defense that is ready for that challenge, and they are ready to prove that, hey, we can make a run at a national championship. You also have the game between these two last year to turn to. You look at, we came up short in that game. We came up short in the college football playoff, and we lost to Ohio State. That is something that is on these kids' minds, and they are ready to prove that they can make the result different than it was last year. Flipping to the other side of the ball, Ohio State. This is a team that has a new QB1 in Julian Sayin, but I think that Julian Sayin has a ton of talent, and he's not going to get the hype of Arch Manning. He's not going to get the recognition of some of these other big-time quarterbacks. That being said, This is a kid that can sling it. There's a reason why they were excited about him last year and why there were rumors that he was pushing Howard for the job. You look at what he's capable of doing, you look at the talent. There's a reason why Alabama wanted him. There's a reason why Ohio State wanted him. Those programs don't pick quarterbacks that don't have talent. There's a reason why they like him. And with the guys that he gets to throw to, you're going to feel like this is a great position to be in. Jeremiah Smith is the best wide receiver in college football right now. I don't think a lot of people are debating that, or at least a lot of sound-minded individuals are going to debate. That much is pretty much a guaranteed fact. I think that's unanimous. 76 catches for him last year, 1,315 yards, and 15 touchdowns as a true freshman. You could talk about him all day. I think that he is going to be really fun to watch, and Texas is going to have to be aware of where he is at all times. And I'm very curious what kind of coverages they'll mix in to rotate guys to his side to give that DB, whoever's covering him, help to slow him down. The problem is that you're opening up things for guys like Carnell Tate, Brandon Inniss, even tight end Max Clare. I think that is one addition that is flying under the radar and not a lot of people are talking about. I think that he is a tremendous talent, a guy who has the ability to change the game in a way and be able to open the offense up for Ohio State. While everyone focuses on Jeremiah Smith, it's actually Max Clare that could have a big impact because not a lot of people are paying attention to him. And that's going to help Ohio State's offense. It's going to spread things out. It's going to allow them to give the rushing attack time to get up to speed. Whether that's James Peoples, whether that's CJ Donaldson, this is an Ohio State offense that has plenty of talent. There's just certain aspects of it that kind of need to get comfortable. Sayan's one of them. The rushing attack is another part. This is going to be a fun offense, and this is going to be a tough team to beat, even with the talent that they lost. You look at some of the talent that departs, you probably look at a lot of teams and think that's going to be a step back. And that may be the case for Ohio State, but they're a 1.5 point favorite. So clearly there are plenty of people that believe in this team. There are plenty of people that are believing in the talent that's coming in and replacing the guys that depart. It's a long season. Nobody's really making any strong predictions about what Ohio State's going to be, but there's plenty of talent to make them a contender once again. A college football playoff appearance is definitely in the cards. Just because you have a new quarterback does not mean you are not capable of making a run for that. And Julian Sayin has the talent to make that happen. In terms of picking this game, I really like both teams. This is going to be a fun game. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's going to be really fun to watch. And watching these two quarterbacks compete and battle back and forth is going to be a joy. If you're a college football fan, these are the games that you really like watching. The high stakes, and even with, I think the one thing I want to point out is the people that tell you that expanding the playoff reduces the importance of games like this. That's just not true. I mean, if you want to look at it a certain way where you say, well, this game doesn't really matter. One team can lose and they can still make the playoff. Well, if you're using that lens, correct. However, the amount of care that's going into this game, the amount of excitement, look at any analyst that's talking about this game. They are excited for this one. And it's also a game that people will tell you doesn't matter. That's not true. It does matter. There's plenty of excitement. In terms of the playoff, sure, you can say that it doesn't matter in that capacity, but who cares? If you're so focused on the playoff, and I know that ESPN and everybody's trying to focus so much on who makes the playoff, that's not what college football is about. College football is not about the playoff. It's about the regular season. It's about games like this, where, yeah, even if you lose the game, your playoff hopes aren't over, but that doesn't reduce what these kids can do. It doesn't take away from their competitive spirit. These kids are going to treat this game seriously, and they're going to compete at the highest level. Yeah, it's the first game. It's going to be sloppy at times, and it's going to be full of mistakes, but it's still going to be passionate. The fans care. It's going to be sold out. There's not going to be an empty seat. You're telling me that doesn't matter? That makes no sense. This is going to be a game that's super fun. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to watch these quarterbacks. I'm excited to watch guys like Jeremiah Smith, Colin Simmons. I have Texas winning this game, but it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a back and forth. And even if one of these teams does, lose, it's not going to affect their future. And that's really exciting as well. Everything's still ahead of them. It's just a matter of who can get that strong win on their resume.